stage, Mike Zakarian.
Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the NBA Bit. The NBA Bit. Hope everybody enjoyed seeing two teams get hammered last night. Team the Chiefs and Team Drake. Couple of L's being thrown around last night in the Super Bowl. I hope at least your pick'ems or your slips were good last night. Unless you're an Eagles fan, by the way. Congrats, Eagles fan. Then you definitely had a good time. But that game was over just about as quickly as it started. Wow, just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. There you go. Manicato with the take. The real winner last night was Drake. Imagine your name being said at the halftime show. Yeah, imagine. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We had some busy stuff. Stan Loves. You look like you sound like somebody on my Facebook feed. But I hope everybody had a nice weekend. We had also shout out the NBA who did a really good job of like keeping their name in people's mouths during the Super Bowl, huh? There was just a lot of NBA drama the last 2 weeks. We had some more stuff over the weekend. Just so kind of nuts. We're going to get into it all this morning. But just a couple of things before we get started. We got a busy day today. 89 Cavs are going to be back on this channel at 3 p.m. Eastern with my guys, Justin and Steve. We'll also have Live Before Lock at 5. Live Before Lock, only 90 minutes today. We got a hot 90 minutes because Old Man Hoops, baby, 40 and over Hoops is back tonight. So I got a game at 8. I got to get out of here by like 7. Patrick Coyne, Jahan Dotson. Yeah, Jahan Dotson, MVP. One other plug thing, and then we'll get cooking. If you guys missed it, we dropped an episode of Hoop Sense over the weekend, which is really good. It went out on Saturday morning. If you haven't checked it out yet, here, I'm going to show you. We got a little share screen right there. Look at that. Look at that beautiful thumbnail. Look at the beautiful thumbnail. Let's share it. Go check it out after the show. It would make my heart so warm if you haven't done it yet. So there you go. That is the action from the weekend. We got some crazy stuff, though, huh? Let me, first of all, who do we got in the chat? We got happy birthday to Bobby Portis. Oh, Bobby Portis' birthday narrative tonight in the new map, Max Christie. There you go. Who else? Sneeps is here. Matic Auto Regulator. DJ P. Kendrick. We got Stubbs in the chat. Boston Base here. Let's go. Snoopaloop. Happy National Clean Out Your Computer Day. That's good. DJ P's asking for the old man hoops tonight. What are the odds? What are the odds for Zakarian threes tonight? I'll be honest, guys. I'm coming off a game. I think I already complained about this on Friday morning. We had a really bad game on Thursday. We don't have 5 guys tonight. We have at least 6, hopefully 7. We're playing a team that I think is right around our skill level. I'm going to say the over-under is set at 3.5 threes. That's probably too high. It should be 3 even, but I'm going to say 3.5. So I feel like I've hit 3 threes twice and 4 threes twice so far. Or 3 threes 3 times and 4 threes twice. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't think that's why you're tuning in today. I think we're ready for some. Oh, I forgot to switch that. We're ready for some action from over the weekend. So let's get started. The first thing that happened over the weekend was kind of nuts. And this is one of the scary things that happens when you do a trade deadline deal. Lakers say, according to Shams Charania, Mark Williams, the Dalton Connect trade has been rescinded. That's right. It has been rescinded. So the trade between the Lakers and the Hornets is no mas. Dalton Connect has to come all the way back to the Los Angeles Lakers, which I'm sure he's actually not too pissed off about. Although what a weird vibe though, right? And then Mark Williams has to go back to Charlotte. And there's a lot of like reporting around this. I'm trying to find the right tweet here to share. I think it was from our guy, I think Steiny Mo, Mark Stein had a lot of reporting on it. And so a bunch of people did, although man, he reported so much stuff here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Nope, not, I don't have it. But basically saying, the report's basically saying, hey, body is broken. And that Mark Williams did not pass the physical. So this is pretty tough stuff. Strictly Sickly says karma is who's got bad karma? Who's got bad karma? There we go. It was a bad connection. TJP, how did you do an underdog with Giannis out? I'm going to just mention this quickly because for those that tuned in on Friday, we had a big stance that Giannis was going to be out. We somehow lost money. It was incredible. It was the weirdest tilt of my life. But anyways, So now this is kind of bad news for a lot of people, right? It's bad news for Mark Williams because his body's just not there yet. I think what was concerning is Shams did come out and say that it wasn't even the back injury, and that was some of the concern they had. Yeah, he had some foot stuff earlier in the year, right? But the biggest concern with Mark Williams obviously was health, but was this back issue that he was dealing with last year. Strictly sickly. I got you, buddy. We are going to talk about it. When you said karma's a bitch, I assumed you were talking about what we were talking about right now. But our guy Strictly Sickly just doing his own thing in the chat, and I'm fine with that too. I'm fine. You can vibe. But anyways, Mark Williams. So now, like, this is a concern for his long-term health. It also just kind of nukes any sort of trade value moving forward. Now, obviously, they can't make another trade right now because they're past the trade deadline. But even in the offseason, right, it's really difficult now for the Charlotte Hornets to try to move off of this guy. And so now you either have to rehabilitate him in the offseason and probably extend him at some point, and then like have him have a longer runway of good health and success, and then maybe you can move him. But it really does kind of nuke that trade value because now every other team is going to be, and they should be doing this already, but I think they're going to be going through with a fine-tuned comb a little bit more than they normally would when they get to the physical part of stuff. It is a little weird too that like somehow he passed the initial physical, but then didn't, like, he passed Charlotte's physical, but not the Lakers physical. So it makes me wonder, was Charlotte trying to pull a fast one, or is it like more that Mark Williams short term? Like, is it a little Brandon Roy-ish? You know what I mean? Where short term, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch looks fine, but like they're trading for Mark Williams, not just for this season, not to just fill that void of the big man for this season, but for seasons to come, right? He's this young guy that's about to get an extension, and they thought he was going to be a good pairing next to Luka, and the Lakers could have looked at this and been like, listen, man, this is helpful for this year, maybe next year, but there's some like real concerns moving forward. So that sucks. I mean, it sucks for a lot of reasons, but you know me, I'm big Mark Williams fan. So it's a bummer to see that. Now for the Lakers side of things for this season, I mean, like, listen, there were a lot of people that were hammering this trade, being like, they gave up too much for an unknown quantity and that they need a little bit more of defensive help. And again, I love Mark, but it was a lot. And so now I wonder if this is almost a blessing in disguise for the Lakers. Again, not great for this year because the Lakers now, moving forward, Jackson Hayes is their starting center. Not great, Bob. Not great, Bob. So are they going to try to find somebody like as a buyout candidate to come in and fill the five? I don't know if there's anybody out there that can make a meaningful difference, right? But they're going to have to find some sort of rim runner. Shout out JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard or something like that. They're going to have to find some sort of five to fill this void. But moving from this season on, they now get that first-round pick. They get the rookie Dalton Connect back. Like, maybe they can finesse something in the offseason. So maybe not all is lost, but it definitely lowers the ceiling of the Lakers this season. It definitely does. Also, I'd shout myself out here for a tweet that I thought was very funny. Not sure if everybody else felt that way, but so the Charlotte Hornets released a statement here like shortly after, right? Charlotte released a statement here that says, we are excited to welcome back to our Hornets organization. Oh, we are excited to welcome Mark back to our Hornets organization. After the other team aggressively pursued Mark, we made the difficult decision to move him. We have always held great respect for Mark's talent, work ethic, and character. We are thrilled to see him rejoin our roster as a dynamic presence at the starting center position. His return strengthens our team, and we look forward to the impact he will make on and off the court. And I just followed that up with the Charlotte Hornets were like, welcome back, Mark W. Welcome back, Mark W. So there you go. There's a little severance for you. I think that's definitely a weird situation. Definitely a weird situation for the team. But that's not all, huh? That's not all. We had some other craziness that happened this weekend. Hold on, let me catch up on the chat. Ben Simmons could be the Lakers 5. Ben Simmons, we'll talk about him, but he is on the Los Angeles Clippers now. He's on the Clippers. How much different is Derek Lively from Jackson Hayes? Like a million times. Derek Lively is 100% a better defender than Jackson Hayes. He's got more wherewithal and court awareness around the rim. Yeah, that's not a fair comparison. I mean, Jackson Hayes is like fine, but yeah, Alex is saying that's hilarious backtracking. Yeah, I mean, Charlotte, like, just a huge L. Regulator saying, wonder if there is a process where this trade can be appealed. What if the Lakers just have buyer's regret and decided to torch the trade by using the did not pass physical excuse? I mean, Regulator, that's an interesting conversation if it wasn't someone that has been riddled with injury stuff, right? Because he's missed more games than he's played in his entire career. So I'm sure there's some truth to this. Also, I don't think the Lakers are in a situation where they need a 5, right? So, yeah, maybe this is by accident good for them because they get those assets back, but they needed a 5. I mean, this puts them in a really tough spot for this season. And again, the move was also for the future. But you look at the Lakers; they're a 5 seed right now. Lakers they just keep winning games, and so I think they absolutely need them. So Regulator, you're saying that you think Mark Williams. Regulator, you got to pick a lane because you were here the other day. Disparaging the name of Mark Williams, and now all of a sudden, because he's back on your team, you're like, actually, Mark's a pretty healthy guy. He's a pretty healthy guy. Regulator, you're not happy that he's back, apparently. Luka also sounds like he's going to be back tonight. Sounds like Luka Magic's going to be making his return to the Lakers. Lakers are playing the Utah Jazz tonight, so there we go. Let's go back to Shams because Nico Harrison got a half a basketball in of feeling good about himself. Listen, the entire internet was on cocaine on Saturday. So AD makes his return to the floor, plays his first game for the Dallas Mavericks. Oh my God. Do you really are doing conspiracy theory time? So I can't tell though, what side. So are you upset that you have Mark Williams back, Regulator? And that's why you're pro Mark Williams being healthier than Luka? But everybody and their mother got onto the internet. Anthony Davis had an incredible first quarter, okay? I think he had like 8, 6, and something like that. Something crazy. Had an incredible first half. And everybody gets on Twitter being like, oh, baby, you put some respect on Anthony Davis's name, huh? Oh, he's the worst trade in NBA hit. Like, guys, it's been a half. Use your fucking heads. What are you doing? It's almost like you tempted the injury gods because then Anthony Davis goes down with a groin injury. And then after the game, AD says, actually, it wasn't that bad. More precautionary tale than anything else. We're fine. We're fine. And then reports come out last night. Brutal stuff. Dallas Mavericks AD is expected to miss multiple weeks with a left abductor strain, sources tell ESPN. So if it's for a month, right, you got to remember that the All-Star game is right around the corner, so that is not as bad. I believe he's going to be missing most likely 11 games. If things go well, he misses 11 games for Dallas. Now, the good news here for Dallas, if you were a Mavericks fan, you guys have been staying above water with like this tiny team anyways, right? With like guys constantly in and out of the lineup, you've still been hanging around, right? However, let's look at the standings right now. So if you look at the Western Conference, currently, the Dallas Mavericks are 28-25. They're 3 games over 500 in the 8th seed. They have a 1.5 lead over all 3 of the Kings, Suns, and Warriors, plus a 3-game lead over the Spurs. Now, we're going to look at the Mavericks' upcoming schedule here, and let's look at their next 11 games, because we're basically going to decide if they make the playoffs or not, probably in these next 11 games. So I mentioned the Kings, the Suns, and the Warriors are all right there. They play the Kings tonight. Then they play the Warriors on Wednesday. And then the game before the All-Star break, they play the Miami Heat. Okay, so maybe they go 1-2 in that stretch. Maybe 2-1. Who knows? Then they come back from the All-Star break. Welcome back. You get the New Orleans Pelicans. Then it's Warriors, Lakers. Okay. They're playing the Warriors again. Lakers, a team in front of them. Charlotte, that's nice. It's a nice little gift to Charlotte. Then the Milwaukee Bucks, the Kings again, the Bucks again, the Grizzlies again, the Suns, and then 2 against the Spurs, followed by the Rockets. That takes you to March 5th, 14th. Now, hold on. Let me count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So hopefully he's back for that game against Phoenix. But good God, they've got a tough road in front of them. They've got a tough road in front of them. Yeah, Gafford back to the moon. We're back on Gafford. And this is brutal. But back to the point of like everyone tweeting, like I don't know why people can't separate things in this conversation, right? Anthony Davis can be a top 10 player in the league right now, like on the cusp of MVP conversation, probably not going to win one, right? But he's always like on the cusp, having an incredible year. That can be true. and it also can be a terrible trade. Both things can be true. So for you to celebrate being like, oh, I guess it's not a bad trade. Look, Anthony Davis had a good first quarter. Nobody was saying Anthony Davis couldn't put up stats. And if you can't separate that, I just don't know if you should have takes on the internet. Right? Because nobody was saying, oh, Anthony Davis sucks. What we were saying is the logic was flawed when you said this is a win now move when you're picking up AD over Luka and not getting enough assets back. And like to say, and then for the owner, and I don't know how many people saw the Dumont comments over the weekend who was just like, yeah, when we got Anthony Davis, we were looking for stars who would go out there and work hard every day, like Larry Bird and Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And Shaquille O'Neal. I'm sorry. You lose the team if you invoke Shaq's name with guys that work hard. Shaq, if anything, your best comp for Shaq is Luka. A guy that would come into the season every year out of shape, and then come like March and April, all of a sudden he's in shape, putting up MVP numbers, right? Also, how did you not use the name of the guy that played on your team for 20 plus years where you have a fucking statue of the guy outside? How do you not name Dirk? Just an incredible comment, an incredible, I don't understand. I don't understand. So a lot of people got L's this weekend. Mavs ownership, Nico Harrison, everyone that tweeted the trade was good. Drake again. I thought, and it was the most predictable thing ever, right? When everybody oh, hey, AD underrated now. And then of course, everybody victory laps at the second. Feels like to me, Nico is just doing Miriam's bidding and Nico is taking the bullets. It's from reporting. It sounds like Nico and Jason Kidd were absolutely involved in the decision making. I'm sure ownership had something to do with that, but it sounds like they were also on board. So anyways, brutal stuff for Dallas. That sucks for Anthony Davis too. It was, and you know what? A lot of people were concerned. Remember, people were like, oh my God, watch out for hey, Dallas fans, please don't bring violence to the stadium, okay? Please. And then, of course, because they're normal people, AD gets announced and he's cheered because it's not AD's fault. So Dallas did a good job of receiving him. AD seemed pumped and hyped to play basketball. He was great. So the injury sucks. And so now they're without AD. Obviously, they're without Luka. PJ Washington's missing some time right now. It's brutal. It's brutal for Dallas, and hopefully, they can. It's a little Kyrie magic, a little Daniel Gafford, Maxey Sexy Christie. Maybe he turns into something else. I mean, we saw them go into Boston without AD and all of those guys, and Klay Thompson goes for 25 or whatever and get a W. So who knows? Maybe they can hang on, because again, if they do get into a playoff situation, hey, congratulations, OKC Thunder. You now have to play. You now have to play Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving in a playoff series, right? So, they don't want that. And if there is some kryptonite to OKC, it's probably big boys, right? So, it's not all dead and lost. However, 11 games without Anthony Davis against mostly competitive teams, you're going to find, I think there's a chance they go 4-7 in that stretch, 3-8, and then find themselves in the 11 seed, because Golden State looks a little refreshed. Sacramento is a weird team. I don't know if I don't really trust Sacramento, but if they're getting cooked the entire time, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter who's in front of them or who's behind them. But again, super unlucky from the crew there. We also have Giannis. They announced Giannis is going to be missing time here for the next couple of weeks, right? Or at least through the All-Star break, which that kind of went under the radar. I thought, I didn't realize he was going to. I thought it was more of a precautionary thing, right? It was such a late scratch the other night, and then he didn't play the second night, and then all of a sudden he was already ruled out for Saturday. And then again, Shams Charania, since there's no Woj competition, it's always Shams. Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo will be sidelined through the next week due to a mild calf strain and will miss the NBA All-Star game next Sunday. Now, if we've learned anything from everyone's response to the Luka Doncic trade, calf strains are because you're fat, right? Isn't that what everybody said? You only get a calf strain for being a little fatty piggy pig. So is Giannis out of shape? Maybe you got to trade Giannis. That sucks for Milwaukee. Milwaukee had a pretty impressive win yesterday, which Actually, I guess we can talk about right now against Philly, where it looked like Philly was going to come out and punch him in the mouth. And then Dame was awesome. Also, I don't know how many people were watching that game. Hubie Brown's last broadcast was kind of nice. They just they really didn't even talk about the game too much. They spent the whole time talking about Hubie's career. Had a lot of guys that he's worked with in the past come in and drop in and talk to him for a little bit, which is really nice. It was a nice moment. I miss Hubie. It's crazy that he's still doing it at this age. But yeah, so no Giannis for at least through the All-Star break. Which means no Giannis in the All-Star break, no Anthony Davis for the All-Star game. Who's getting into the All-Star game? Do they still continue to snub Trae Young? LaMelo, who's missed the last game and is questionable heading into tonight, does he come back into the All-Star conversation? Sabonis, do we get Domas Sabonis in there? Kyrie Irving? Norman Powell? Who are the two guys that get into the All-Star game? Who would be your picks? Assuming conference doesn't matter, because I don't know what the hell they do now since they already drafted these teams. If conference doesn't matter, who should be the two guys that replace Giannis Antetokounmpo and Anthony Davis in the All-Star game? Regulator says Sabonis and Melo. It does kind of feel like Melo getting all those votes. They should give him a little love. And I like the idea of Trae being snubbed again. I don't know. I'm just pro Trae snubbing now. I think it's fun. But anyways, the All-Star injuries suck. That's no good. Let's keep moving. You got Luke Cornett and Peyton Pritchard. God, all right, Sneeves, we need a mental health check. We're gonna do a mental health check, and then we're gonna get into some old faces in new places. Let's do it.
We can't go down this road. We can't talk about like how you need to have had sex in order to have responsibility. I just think it changes you, I think it changes you.
There we go. All right, let's get to Jimmy Butler's debut, with the Golden State Warriors. So this was a weird game. This was a weird-ass game. The Warriors were down pretty bad. Wait, Siakam already made the All-Star team, baby. Siakam already made it. Warriors were down pretty bad. They were outscored. Well, I'm sorry. They had a 3-point lead in the first quarter, but then got outscored by 17 in the second. Looked like the Bulls were going to put a beat down on them, and then Golden State came storming back. Jimmy in his debut, and this is the thing that the Warriors needed more than almost anything else, because I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I got to imagine they're one of the teams that get to the free throw line the least in the league. Jimmy Butler gets there, goes to the line 13 times, has 25 points on 7 for 12 shooting, 4 dimes up there. Chef Curry, 8 for 16 from 3. He had 34 and 6 in this game. Good win. They're supposed to win that game anyways, right? They're supposed to beat them, but it was good to see Jimmy kind of fit right in. And it's just so clear. It's so clear this is what Golden State needed. I mentioned this on the Hoop Sense episode, which, by the way, go check out Hoop Sense. I am a little concerned that this doesn't actually raise the ceiling too much for the Golden State Warriors. It clearly makes them a better team. I think Butler raises their ceiling more than Andrew Wiggins does, but I still don't know, like when you look at the lay of the land of the Western Conference, how much more of a boost this gives them. Warriors play, here's some alpha for you. The Golden State Warriors play the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. And riddle me this, Batman. The Golden State Warriors are favored by 6.5 points. When's the last time the Warriors have been favored by 6+? I don't even think they were favored by 6+ against the Utah Jazz last week. So does that mean Dame Time is not playing tonight? No Dame Time tonight? That's my planting my flag. We're gonna get a Q tag of Damian Lillard later today. Maybe it's just because the Bucks are on the back-to-back and the Warriors are not. Jimmy Butler effect, but 6.5 seemed like too many points. But anyways, I forgot to change the old faces, new places. You guys got to tell me that shit. You got to tell me that. So anyways, good win for the Golden State Warriors. Let's see. Let's talk about that Bucks game yesterday. Because Kyle Kuzma, the Kuz, actually had a pretty solid game in this 135-127 win. Also, I forgot to put this up in the All-Star injury stuff, but maybe it's because he's not an All-Star. So Joel Embiid plays 30 minutes in this game, kind of sits the last 5 minutes when the game got out of hand. Finished the game with 27 points and 12 boards, 6 dimes. I got to tell you, though, those stats feel fake. They feel fake in the sense that, like, he knocked down a lot of threes. That was part of the reason those points racked up, right? He went 4 for 7 from 3. I think he had 24 points at halftime and only finished with 27, 3 points in the second half. And just like it does, the aggression is not there. The imposing physicality is just not there. Now, Lisa Salters reported, I believe, while Joel Embiid was at the line, so Philly doesn't report this, right? Philly's like, yeah, Embiid's actually like, he's good now, man. We're just like getting him fully healthy. He's going to be good to go. Lisa Salters comes out and says he's going to need off-season surgery and rehab before he's like fully healthy again. Philly remains undefeated with bullshit reporting. It's incredible. But anyways, I got to talk more about Milwaukee because they won this game, but also Maxey, 39 points. Maxey's so awesome, man. Paul George only took 8 shots in this game, 12, 5, and 6. It was all Dame time. 7 for 7 from the line, 8 for 15 from 3, 43 points, 8 boards. The Coos had 13, 8, and 5. Bobby Portis. Also, Bobby Portis coming off the bench surprised me. But anyways, he had 18 points, 13 boards, 5 dimes. Gary Trent Jr. had 23 points. He knocked down 7 threes. Milwaukee now moves 5 games over 500. Sixers, continue to be underwhelming. Yeah, Gary Trent was good. Gary Trent just took a ton of shots, man. He was chucking. Also, a little fun stat from Alex in the chat. Maxey hasn't had a game with under 27 points since January 4th. Wow. Okay. There you go, Maxey. I like that. That's a fun stat. Thanks for sharing that, Alex. I'm not going to vet it. I'm just going to trust it. Let's get back to some of the other games. Let's go to Saturday. Saturday was a full slate. Celtics and Knicks. Celtics won this one 131-104. Kristaps Porzingis was a late scratch in this game, and it did not matter because yes, I'm that dude. Jason Tatum was awesome. He was awesome. He was efficient. He was aggressive. Finished the game with 40 points, 6 boards, 4 dimes, went 7 for 14 from 3. Had a couple heat check moments that were fun. 4 of the 5 starters in double figs. Luke Cornett, shout out our guy. Sneeps had a double-double, 14 and 12. Derek White, 17 and 4. JB had 12 and 5. And then Peyton, fast PP. Peyton Pritchard had 25 and 4 off the bench. Just kind of dominated the Bing Bong boys. Knicks, Jalen Brunson got hot late. 10 for 18 from the field, finished with 36 and 5. A lot of that, though, like the game was kind of in hand. Josh Hart, 17 and 8. Knicks fall to 34 and 18. Celtics, 37 and 16. Celtics, man, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with how they play basketball, right? They have a game at home against the Dallas Mavericks, and they just go on cruise control, no urgency, none of that. And then all of a sudden, they play a team like the Knicks, or like the Cavs, and they just beat the pants off of them, right? They just beat them down. Yeah, you know what? When Bull jump shoot, I'll give you some Bull right now because we did have Bull sightings over the weekend, and we haven't played that video in a while.
Bull?
Bull.
His first name is Bull and his last name is Bull?
No,
Look
yeah.
at his legs!
Yeah. Long legs.
Oh my god! I bet his legs are taller than my whole body. I'm leaving you for Bull. Like.
Shut out Greg and Aubrey. So Suns played a couple games, and they were bad. They lost 122-105. KD did not play in either of these games. Jamal Murray was cooking, 30 points and 5 dimes. Jokic did his Jokic things, 26, 11, and 9 in this one. No Michael Porter Jr. for the Nuggets. It felt like they were just giving him an off day. And then on the Suns side of stuff, yeah, like Booker, 2 good games this weekend, 24, 7, and 3, but there he is, Bull, off the bench in 33 minutes, 19.7 boards. Big Dick Nick Rich was not so great, Bob. He got dinged up a little bit, still came back into the game, and he was fine. But Suns now 500. Nuggets just still plugging along. If we go to let's see that Friday game, too, because Booker had a crazy game on Friday. And this is part of the reason why I lost all that money with my Portis call. But the Suns win 135-127. Game goes to overtime. Look at our boy Johnny Collins in 39 minutes, had 21. Lowry Markkanen at 20. Walker Kessler, 19 points, 22 boards, 3 blocks, and a steal. But it was Devin Booker who went 18 for 33 from the field, 47 points, 11 dimes in this one. Grayson Allen for 21. Bull in this game had 12 points, 3 blocks of his own. So, yeah, Phoenix, man, continue to beat bad teams, lose to good teams. That's the way of the land. Let's go back to Saturday. Some other games that popped off. Dallas, we mentioned them, right? Kind of already talked about this game. The Mavericks beat the Rockets, though, even though AD 26, 16, and 7 in that one. Something to point out yesterday, the Rockets played the Raptors. They got a W, but Şengün got hurt. Left the game, did not return. That's something to watch. Houston's getting a little unlucky here down the stretch. Fred VanVleet's missed some time. They might now be without the Gooner moving forward as well. Lakers, I saw somebody tweet out something crazy that like, wow, Lakers aren't getting nearly enough talk about being good this year. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's all people do is talk about the Lakers. Lakers won 124-117. We do have to start taking them seriously. We do. Also, Halliburton on the road continues to be pretty bad. 19-9 in this one. Spicy P at 23-6. But let's go look at Rui Hachimura. This is no LeBron James, mind you. Rui at 24-9. And then Austin Reeves, AR-15, 45-7-7. That's some like LeBron shit there in that win. Again, though, we look at these centers now, right? They're going to have to play Rui some big. They're going to have to play Dorian Finney-Smith. Jackson Hayes played 29 minutes, had 9 and 12 in that game. Vando played 20 minutes. At Trey Jemison III. Who? He played 12 minutes. They signed Jordan Goodwin. He immediately played 25 minutes. But if we go look at the standings again, Lakers, man, because I don't give them enough credit because I thought a lot of their performance had been like pretty schedule based. I thought I was like, oh yeah, their record's good because their schedule's crazy, right? But I got to start giving them a little bit more credit. They are now, again, we are 50 games into the season and they are 31-19, 9-1 in their last 10, winners of 5 in a row, tied for the longest win streak in the league with who? The Oklahoma City Thunder, who have also won 5 in a row. But the Lakers, man, 31-19. They now have a 2.5 game cushion between them and the Lakers. But what's crazy, because Houston's been slipping, 4-6 in their last 10. They're only a half game behind the Rockets right now, who again might have some injury stuff they got to deal with. And they're only a game and a half of the Denver Nuggets, who have I'm sorry, that is not the longest win streak in the league because the Denver Nuggets have won 6 in a row. But you see the Nuggets and the Lakers just kind of slowly chipping away just by playing some good basketball. Like, obviously, nobody's catching OKC, but I do think Memphis is susceptible to Denver. And I think the Lakers could get up there too. Now, the Lakers' upcoming schedule, I think if I go back over to Tankathon, we can look at the toughest schedules the rest of the way here. Let's do remaining strength of schedule. Let me share that screen instead here. Would Trey be your third replace? Yeah, Trey probably. I would put Sabonis in there. And I think LaMelo, but Trey would be third, yeah. Or Maxey. Rank these players, J-Dub, Maxey, or Fox, like from a fantasy perspective or just in general, Alex? D-Rose, I think Luka's coming back tonight. I think he's playing tonight. He's questionable, but I think he's going. All right, so here's what we got for the strength of schedule. So the toughest schedule the rest of the way, the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix, Memphis, and Denver, the 3 toughest schedules, but like Lakers are ninth. So like I guess it's not like an easy road for them. Who's down here? Toronto with an easy schedule, the Wizards with an easy schedule, but what's easy for those teams, you know? Philly, Boston down there. Let's see. A lot of the teams that are chasing people kind of have a tough schedule. So anyways, that's interesting. But yeah, Phoenix, the toughest left. Only 30 games left. It's kind of crazy. Rank them on how hot they are, vibes perspective. All right. Yeah, you freaks. You guys are freaks. Let's see if there are any other games that we needed to get into from the weekend. I feel like we covered most of the important ones here. Let's go. Like yesterday, Pistons got a win over the Hornets. No LaMelo in that game. It was kind of a weird one. And then I mentioned the Rockets beat the Raps. Let's go Saturday, though. Saturday had more spicy stuff. What else did we have on Saturday? Magic got a win over the Spurs. This was kind of a fun back and forth one. Franz has been good. 33 points and 12 boards for the Vogs. Spurs now 22 and 28. Hawks got a win over the Wizards. Trae Young was cooking 35 and 14. Wizards did say they weren't going to use Chris Middleton or Marcus Smart until after the All-Star break, so keep that in mind. Warriors beat the Bulls 132-111. We already mentioned that one. Thunder against the Grizz. This was a fun one. Desmond Bane, by the way, some good news for Memphis in that loss is it seemed like we were cooked with Desmond Bane. They said there was no time, like he got hurt earlier in the week. They said no timetable for his return. And then those T-Rex flex arms came out and he was like, I'm fine though. So Bane only, I think, missed 1 game or 2 games, I think. It was 125-112 a loss. SGA, of course, did SGA stuff, man. He's just so good. Get to the line 16 times, 32 and 8. Aaron Wiggins had a double-double again, 26 and 11 for him. J-Dub gave you 25, 6 and 6. Chet didn't play this game. It was the second game of a back-to-back. I imagine tonight's action Against New Orleans, we get both Chet and Hartenstein, which is going to be fun because Zion is going up against them. So let's see how they do. On the Memphis side of things, Triple J at 19. Desmond Bane, who I mentioned, 7 for 15, 3 for 7 from the field, 20 and 9. John Morant kind of got bottled up. I was interested to watch this game because I thought with no Lou Dort, no Case and Wallace, I was like, there's a chance Ja gets loose in this game, right? Wrong. OKC's just too good of a defensive team. And that's right. T. Morant also got ejected from the game. So there we go. Trey named for Giannis just in. There we go. Breaking news. Hit him with the Chili's. Can't be snubbed anymore. Congrats to Trey Young. Honestly, Trey's been having an awesome year. Congrats to Ice Trey. I'm happy for him. Clearly, because he tweets about it every year, this means something to him. I'm excited he got in. And it counts. We counted it for Mike Conley. DJ Local says Rockets will take it careful with the Goon. 8 of the next games are back-to-back. Yeah, so get ready for Tyree Eason. Although they've been pretty careful with Tyree Eason, too, as he didn't play the back-to-back yesterday. So get ready for Aussie. Oi, chocolate them down. All right. Anyways, OKC gets the win. They still have yet to lose double-digit games. Very impressive shit from them. The Timberwolves got a win against the Trailblazers, and I wanted to talk about this because there was no Anthony Edwards in this game. Simons goes for 21, Jeremy Grant for 14. But, dude, Jaden McDaniels, man, has been picking up the slack. There was no Julius Randle, right? No Mike Conley in this game either. And Jaden McDaniels, and no Ant-Man, as I mentioned. Jaden McDaniels, 12 for 17 from the field, only took 1 3, didn't make any of them. So he went for 30 and 10 on all 2-point field goals. Naz Reid, 23 and 8. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 21, 6 and 5. Rudy, double-double of 15 and 11. Honestly, you're like, oh, congrats, Minnesota beat Portland. But Portland's been one of the toughest teams in the league. So it was a pretty good win for Minnesota. Jaden McDaniels now has flashed a little offensive ceiling a couple of games in a row now. Minnesota, who would have guessed? Who would have guessed Julius Randle goes down and the vibes go up, huh? How do you pronounce it? Ecoxer? I'm gonna do this after. Actually, I'm gonna go over some more games, and then we're gonna check some of the Q tags, because if you guys have not looked at tonight's NBA slate, everyone who's ever played basketball in the history of the league is questionable to play tonight. It's insane. All right, Nuggets beat the Suns. We talked about that one. Pellies and Kings was actually a fun game. Zion goes for 40, man. Zion is a freak. He played 28 minutes, 16 for 21 from the field, 8 for 11 from the line, 40 and 4, dude. Zion's so good. Kings finally get a win. Sabone goes for 27 and 16. Levine for 22 and 5. And then Monk, who's actually been playing still good, too, 13 and 7. Really hilarious quote from Malik Monk after this game. I don't know if you guys saw this. Malik Monk post-game goes, he's asked about Zach LaVine joining the team and was hilarious. He said, I don't even want to quote him, but he was like, I thought this motherfucker hit threes and then made fun of him a bunch. It was a really good quote. Malik Monk, great vibes from Monk. All right, I think that covers it from this weekend. Let's take a look at some Rowdy Rod in the chat. It was Ecoxer, hell yeah. All right, let's take a look at some underdog stuff. Well, not even underdog stuff. Let's look at tonight's slate, because we do have a pretty big slate. Also, something to keep in mind tonight and this week. So the All-Star break starts Friday. So there's a lot of teams playing a lot of games this week. Like the Golden State Warriors are one. I believe they play 3 games in the next 4 nights. So that's a little funky. So just keep in mind, I think we are going to get some weird injury stuff of people missing games. So I'm going to pull up the lines for tonight. Let's look at tonight's spread and try to get a feel for it. I'm going to rattle off some of the guys that are questionable before we do this, just so you have a feel for, as we look at these lines, I can take you into my process. As we look into these lines, here are some guys that are questionable tonight. Luka, LeBron, Jason Tatum, LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry, Jaylen Brown, Mark Williams is questionable. There's no way he's playing. So those are some Q tags, all right? Now let's dive in. Let's dive into the odds for tonight. Let's go. Hold on. Under on Hero 3. Wow, Steve's already calling this shot. Steve's rock hard calling this shot. All right, so the Cavs are favored by 9.5 tonight against the Timberwolves. It opened at 6.5. The line's still moving north. It looks like we're going to get to 10 soon. This makes Anthony Edwards is not playing basketball tonight, okay? Orlando Magic are favored by 5.5. That seems to make sense. Spurs are favored by 11.5 over the Washington Wizards. That makes sense. The Brooklyn Nets, who are 18-34, take on the Charlotte Hornets, who are 13-37. Nets are favored by 4.5. They're at home. I don't know what to make of this. Maybe regulator, you get a better feel in the chat. But I don't think the Nets should be favored by more than 1.5 against anybody. But it is the Hornets. So like, should the Hornets be like favored? But this kind of made me think that that we got no LaMelo tonight. That's what I thought. But I'm curious what you guys think. Celtics line opened at 6.5. It's now down to 5.5. I don't really know. All right, regulator thinks Melo's in. All right, there you go. That's what I was looking for. I don't really know what to make of this one with Celtics and Heat. So 5.5 with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum questionable. My lean is that Tatum does not play this game. But I think I'm doing that just for safety because it's like, well, if Jaylen Brown misses and you're doing underdog stuff, you can still get there, right? But I'm a little bit concerned that Tatum's not playing this one, but I don't feel great about it. So this is the one that I thought was weird. The Warriors are favored by 6.5 against the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. For what it's worth. Should the Warriors be favored by 6.5 on the road? I know they got Jimmy Butler, and I know the Bucks are without Giannis, but Milwaukee's on a back-to-back, right? They got a good win yesterday against Philly. I kind of think Dame's not playing tonight. I think it's at like 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to get a Q tag that says Damian Lillard, questionable for tonight. Right? That line, it just feels fishy. 6.5 point favorites. I don't know. I don't buy it. So I kind of think Dame is going to get a Q tag tonight. That was the first thing I thought. The Oklahoma City Thunder are favored by 16.5. Yeah, Pels suck, man. This makes sense. Kings are dogs, 1.5 point dogs to the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of respect to the Mavericks there. I kind of like the Kings here. And then Trailblazers at Nuggets. Nuggets are 9.5 point favorites. Lakers 12.5 point favorites. I kind of think both Luka and LeBron are playing tonight. So to do those Q tags one more time. I think I guess we're now saying LaMelo, or we're going to say Luka in, LeBron in, Tatum out, LaMelo in, Ant-Man out. Steph Curry, he's questionable too. I forgot. I don't know about Steph. I think Steph in. Then I'm going to say Jaylen Brown. I have no idea. Mark Williams out. I don't know. Tough though, right? A lot of Q tags, man. A lot of Q tags heading into tonight's stuff. Woo! Big slate. Hey, if you're just joining us here, thanks for hanging out. Do me a favor, like this stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it. And then, yeah, Lakers. Do you think Dalton Connect plays tonight? Oh, PJ's questionable. Yeah, that's right. PJ's questionable. Yeah, maybe that means PJ plays. Regulator said, should it be solely up to the team and their medical staff to decide if a player fails a physical? What is the criteria? I think the criteria is, my understanding is the team that is trading the guy does their own physical, right? And then when they're negotiating the deal or talking about the trade, they have to send over their medical stuff, right? So then the team that is receiving the player goes through the medical file and they're like, okay, this looks good. And then the trade happens. But then before the trade is like official, now the team receiving the guy goes through their own physical exam of the guy. And so my understanding is there was stuff that was not listed on the initial Mark Williams injury medical file that the Lakers found. And what I do think is a little weird, but also hashtag HIPAA violations. I do think it's a little weird that all they said was like, it wasn't the back. It was real cheeky of them. It wasn't the back. It wasn't the back, but we're not going to tell you what it was. So it sounds like they found new stuff. Should there be a third party involved to mediate the situation like this from Bobby Marks? Yeah, probably. That probably makes sense. It probably means some teams are about certain things more too. Yeah, that's true. Wasn't it released? It was his fault. I didn't see. All I saw it wasn't his back. That's all I saw. And then I saw somebody tweet out that it was gout. That just was like, and I'm assuming that wasn't real. The idea of someone not getting traded because of gout is crazy. Mathology said any alpha on the Q tags. Yeah, I just went over it. This is the weirdest thing I was saying, and I'm curious about people weighing in on the chat. Warriors being favored by 6.5 is crazy to me. on the road. I know the Bucks are on a back-to-back, but on the road, Warriors being favored by 6.5 is wild, which makes me think, one, Steph is playing, and two, Dame is not. It makes me think Dame is not playing. That would be my guess. It's a case of cold feet. Regulators officially locked in that the conspiracy theories are at play, working against the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, I think Dame might not play. I don't. LaMelo, I'm not really sure, but the chat feels good about LaMelo. So chat's saying LaMelo's in. I'm not sure about LaMelo. Anthony Edwards for sure not playing tonight. Oh, you're good, Mathology. Don't apologize. I think Anthony Edwards for sure not playing. If I had one lock button, Anthony Edwards is not playing. I don't feel good about LaMelo, but chat says he's in. Tatum, I'm not sure. And then Jaylen Brown, I'm happy to click because he's so late in the draft anyways. But, yeah, I don't know. That's where I landed. All right, let's do an underdog pick'em. Let's fire something up here. And let's find – I need to know what people think here. Oh, there's the ranks. Let's go to the pick'em. I hit I'll show you all my L's too. We hit a crazy one the other night here. This is my only NFL one that hit. Worthy with that garbage time second tutty. No Kelsey touchdown. Devonta over 50 yards. That shut out the off and on the clock, guys. That's what saved my night. But here we go. This was I was tilting so hard. All of the injury news from Saturday night. The injury news from Saturday night was awful. And I was so mad that I was figuring out my swaps, and I did a pick 'em here. Collier, I moved up from 7.5 dimes to 8.5 dimes. He got 9. Zion, I boosted up from 23.5 points to 29.5. Jamal Murray, I just took his line at 29.5. Tatum, at 20.5. Tatum, I bumped to 29.5. J-Dub bumped to 34.5 PRA. What was this? $15, I think. 15 to win 1,300. We were due. We were due for a big boy, and it all came out of tilting. So sometimes tilt betting is good. Sometimes tilt betting is good. All right? A lot of people will say not financial advice. Not me. I'm out here saying tilt betting is...
None of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do. Something like that, right?
Hold on. Breaking news. Mr. Ng in the chat, 2607. Are you still on Top Shot? No, I'm not. No, I am not. I mean, I still got an account, but I'm not out there grinding. Are you still on Top Shot, Mr. Ng? All right, tell me what you got. What do you guys have for pick'ems today? This has to be a joint effort because I'm not super locked in this morning. Outside of the fact that I do think, I do kind of like Mobley tonight against the Timberwolves. I do kind of think Mobley can get on some here. And I know normally we're like, oh, we got to stay away from the bigs. Bobby Portis points, by the way. Let's actually do that. If we're going to play this here, that Dame is sitting. Also under on BAM boards. I like that one. Let's start with that. All right. Let's do Adebayo. You want under on BAM boards because the Celtics, man. I actually what if we do under on points, rebounds, and assists? Like the whole thing. Although 9.5's a lot. Let's do that. I like it. All right, let's go to Bobby Lobby. Let's go to Bobby Portis. 16.5? No. 29.5. Let's bump that up. I mean, 19.5. There we go. That's fun. That's a spicy one right there. What else we got? You like over on JB boards, huh? Over on Derek White points. I do like the Derek White points, but let me see what that's at. Did they already adjust for that with maybe some Celtics being out? No, let's do it. 15.5. I like that. Anything else from the chat? Let's get to 5. Let's do a little 5-man. I said I like the Mobley one. I'm going to throw that in there since the chat's being awfully quiet right now. Awfully quiet from... Oh, it's at 17.5, though. I thought it was at 16.5. Let's see. What else? What else can we find here from these games of basketball? What about Gary Trent Jr.? Do we just play this whole Bucks thing like 11.5? Do we just do that? Because if we think Dame's sitting, again, I just can't figure out this line. I mean, maybe you guys can figure it out better than I can. Also, Luka's first game, we think he's playing, right? What's Luka's at? Easy. 26.5, easy. It's 31x right there. That's 31x. Fuck that. 29.5. Let's get him to 30. You think Luka's not scoring 30 points in his first game back? Oh, the Kuz line too? All right, maybe we do Kuz. Let's see what's Kuzma's lines at. That's not how you spell Kuz. All right, Kyle Kuzma, 18.5. No, I think I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stick with this. I think this is fun. Any objections here? Any objections? Let's do it. Let's fire it in. If you guys want to tail along, go for it. If not, let's just put, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Actually, let's get my account to an even number here. 60 to win 668. Who said no to that? I hope, of course, if you guys want to tail along, sign up. Promo code HOLD, HOLD, 100% deposit bonus match up to $1,000. Come on now. Super Carl, that's a fun angle too. He always shares. Always shows new stars he shares. Yeah, that's good. Sharing is caring. All right, let's wrap this up here. A couple of things. Guys, listen, it would mean a lot to me. I already mentioned this. If you haven't checked out our new episode of Hoop Sense that dropped on Saturday, it was a real fun one with my guy Trayvon Edwards. Also, Trey had a fun announcement. There we go. That's the link I just shared right there. Look at that thumbnail, sexy as hell. Trey just had a fun announcement. He's got a new podcast called GOAT. I don't know how it's pronounced. GOTE, Greatest of the Era. His co-host is Seth Curry. All right. So yeah. Am I like a Seth Curry? Yeah. A lot of people have been saying that. A lot of people have been comparing me to Seth Curry in the streets. So yeah, make sure you go check that out. That was pretty excited. That's pretty exciting. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a really fun episode. So it would make me feel good if the views were higher. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the views up. 3 p.m. We're back here for the 89 Cavs. Our guys, Justin and Steve. I love this new afternoon 89 Cavs energy. If you've never checked out an 89 Cavs episode, it's a lot of fun. It's my two friends, Justin and Steve, who are also very funny comedians. And we just shoot the shit and talk hoops for a little bit. And then at 5 p.m., we got Live Before Lock. So we're back. We got a busy day. I've had 3 cups of coffee already. I'm sweaty. My heart's racing, but I think that's good. I think it's a good thing. I think more people should do that. Why is it called the 89 Cavs? That's a great question, DJP. We're talking about renaming it. We're working on it. We came up with it because we were trying to find the best 3-man core, the best 3-man team that was 2 black guys and a white guy. And so the 89 Cavs had Mark Price, Brad Daugherty, and Larry Nance, the senior, not the junior. That'd be wild if Larry Nance Jr. was on the 89 Cavs. So yeah, that's how we came up with the name. But as our guy Top Shot Tesla in the chat always tells us, that people think it's a Cavaliers show, and it's not. We very rarely talk about the Cavs. Honestly, we should have just called it like something else. So yeah, we're working on a name. Thought into that way too much. I know, we're out there grinding. We're grinding the thoughts. All right, guys, have a great start to the week. Make sure you come hang out at 3 p.m. Let's Dame time. Dame sitting. There you go. That's the final call. Dame sitting. We're calling it now.